Hello everyone, welcome to Peggy's Skylight. I'm delighted this evening to be joined by Ian Shaw, who will be... Hello, hi Ian, how are you?
I'm very happy to be in a room with some people.
Welcome to Nottingham. Yes, indeed. You've travelled up from London today, is that right?
I did. It was wonderful and easy, and I read the paper and had a coffee and was very excited about coming to play some music.
And it was empty, I hear.
I know, it was empty. I know.
How's
that going to pan out?
Is it like a bit of a ghost country at the moment?
Train.
Yeah, the only people that are moving on trains are people who are gigging.
Yeah, but I got full attention from the coffee and water people.
Oh, well, there's always a bonus. There's always a bonus. So thank you for joining us tonight. This is just a small-in conversation, so we've got around 25 to 30 minutes before you will see Ian perform at 8 o'clock. So let's start with...
The very beginning.
Let's go back. Let's go back to Flint. Have I said that right?
Yes.
So that's where you were born.
Yeah, I was born...
In Wales?
I was born in St Asaph, which is just along the way on the North Wales coast, but Flint with two Fs. Flint. Otherwise it would be Vlint. You see, if you speak in your actual Welsh. So have
you retained your Welsh accent?
Don't know, really. I sort of sound a bit Birkenheady when I've had a few gin and tonics, I think.
Okay. Not even when you go back?
No, because, I mean, it's so close to England. We kind of nick a little bit of Liverpool, a bit of Manchester, a little bit of... I mean, if you go further left to the island, Anglesey, then people talk like this. It's very guttural and very beautiful and very slow. So I don't know, we were caught in the middle. I left when I was a baby, so I can't remember how I spoke at school. I think I probably with a bit of a kind of, North Wales accent, which is a bit Liverpudlian, yeah. A
bit of a lilt. So tell me about that, because obviously Wales is very famous for its amazing music and vocalists in particular. Would you say that was where your love for music was born?
Well, I mean, it's a whole nature-nurture thing, isn't it? I think anyone's love for anything that they commit to, whether it be as a hobby or, an interest, or whether they're trying to make a career from it, it must come from your beginnings and your family. My mum and dad, I was very lucky. I came from a very musical family. My mum played piano, and a little bit of piano, not much, and my dad played brilliant cornet in the brass band, trumpet cornet. He could play any brass instrument apart from the trombone. So it seemed like a natural thing just to want to be like your mum and dad, So I never resented it, and they pushed me through all the grades and things, and I really appreciate, in my old age, I couldn't have done it without my parents, really. I don't think I naturally would have gone for it. I don't know.
Was that was that immediately kind of growing up in that environment of jazz music specifically, or was it a mix, or did you come to jazz later, or how did that work?
I think my mother ironed to Radio 2 for 25 years, so the music that we heard, which was called Two-Way Family Favourites on a Sunday, was jazz, but we didn't really know how to name it. It was just songs from the 40s and 50s and 60s, a lot of big band stuff, and also the great kind of powerhouse singers that I was very excited by, like Shirley Bassey, Tom Jones. A lot of them are still around and still working. Lulu, who's an amazing singer. All those singers really affected me when I was really little, and then David Bowie entered my life when I was 11, I think. Timmy Jones gave me Man Who Sold the World. Said, right, you can only have it for the weekend. Tape it with your cassette player. And that really, truly changed my life. And then I worked backwards. So when I went to London, I had orchestral instruments, and done in a way that is a thing.
That must have been, I mean, for a sort of country lad, say, to come across somebody like David Bowie. I mean, just not even his music, but just his own persona. I mean, that must have been like a kind of absolute, what did that feel? I mean, to come across somebody like that, just a persona like that.
Well, I suppose, as I'm a gay man, I'm very political about it, very politicized about it. But when I was a kid, the whole thing about Bowie's, the whole thing about his image as well as his music appealed to a side of me that was an alternative thing to what I was seeing on the television, which was a very kind of patriarchal, very macho sort of array of, I grew up in watching the most awful sitcoms, which was so racist and so misogynist and so homophobic, and Bowie represented that alternative, as well as having all that great music and those extraordinary lyrics, the stories.
And such a larger than life kind of, and very smart as well. He he knew how to talk, he knew how to see into the future almost with some of his interviews, I know.
He did, and I'm very close to a lot of people that have worked with him very closely. Dana Gillespie, who was one of his first girlfriends, she's a very good friend of mine. We filmed a thing recently, and she lives in London, and she's got a new book called Weren't Born a Man, which was the title of the album that Bowie produced for her on through the main man on RCA Records. And also Linda Lewis, who's a very good friend of mine, an amazing singer, who was his backing vocalist on Aladdin Sane. So it all made it very real and my dad went, well, it's probably best that you leave North Wales now, and go and really find the world. Change my life. And then I worked.
And so you did, and you went to London to study a degree in music?
I did, I did a B.Mus in music. It was a guinea pig course at the time. We thought it was going to be a BA, but it was a B.Mus. So I didn't really love the kind of content of the course. I felt it wasn't very creative. It was a very academic course. It was to do with analysis and history and philosophy of music and ethnomusicology, which I really liked. I should have gone probably to Nottingham or Manchester or Birmingham and then gone to London.
Right.
So I was in this amazing city, but not really enjoying learning about 15th century lute music and analysing it. It didn't really make any sense to me, to be honest.
Okay, so if it wasn't there, then where was it while you were in London? How did you discover? Well, what was that?
Soho.
Yeah.
Soho, baby. You know. I remember my dad bringing me down in the pouring rain once, and we went wandering around. It was when I did my interview for King's College, and we wandered into Soho, which in the early 80s was very, late 70s, early 80s was very community-based, so it was kind of Italian and Maltese community there, sex shops, amazing Italian delicatessens, and the most brilliantly everything was sort of brown and murky in those days in London. It wasn't monochrome like the 60s, which I kind of missed, and it wasn't flashy colours like the 70s. It had sort of gone into this weird, strange kind of murky thing, but underneath it I found record shops, I found the Colony Club in Dean Street, and all these amazing places and these amazing people that all lived on the edges of society, and I wanted to be like them too. And then I'd sneak back and sit in study choir on the Strand and think, watch the buses go past and think, 10 minutes walk from here is that place that my father was really worried that I would go to, i.e. go.
Soho.
But the record shops were the most important thing. Just coming out of those record shops with things like Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, and also new music that I'd never heard, improvised music that I'd never heard, like Cecil Taylor, pianist, Joe Harriott, who then I went back to discover that he was one of the first successful sort of Black American musicians to make a living in London, in England, and I just lapped it up and spent all my money on my grant money. I did get a job though, washing pots in my hall of residence, so I sort of felt like I was paying my way in a way.
Were you any good at that job?
Really, really good. Thank you. Oh. And I've got a dishwasher which came with my flat in London, and I don't use it. It's like, what is that? What is that thing there?
Well, that's good to know, folks. If you
I
want
like
to invite Ian round for dinner, he could do the washing up really well.
I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the kind of various stages of it.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about
washing up.
Yeah, let's delve deeper. No, moving along you went from Wales and then to London, and then was it then? So you had a rather unusual kind of pathway in the sense of you worked on the cabaret circuit.
Yeah.
With so you're a bit of a comedian, am I right?
He's a right comedian. Well, it was all accidental, really, because I was doing piano bars. Very early on, I found an agent called Jack Fallon, who was Canadian, and he was the bass player with Lena Horne, and he played the violin on the Beatles' White Album. So he was really interested in me because I represented something that wasn't just, strangers in the night, sitting in the corner playing and singing. So I had that thing going. And then at that time, they're all a bit older than me, 4 or 5 years older than me. The Dawn Frenches, the Alexis Sales, Ben Elton, Joe Brand, Julian Clary. I just thought this is an extraordinary reaction to the political climate at the time, which felt like it needed some sort of challenge artistically. And
it was a very exciting time for comedy, wasn't it? That period of time.
It was. I imagine the last time that happened. I think a lot of my American friends would argue that it happened in the 50s and 60s. With the Beat generation. But it was slightly more relaxed, shall we say, in those days. But this was artful anger. It was a refined kind of anger that was exciting and challenging and funny. And I found myself in it. It's almost accidentally working with a great guitarist called Andy Phillips. And we wrote these amazing looking back, these amazing political songs. And in between, I would do stand-up,
And how was that? Did you like it?
I loved it. It was great. I felt... I wasn't anywhere near as honed and as clever as Mark Steele and Mark Thomas. These are all really good buddies of mine now, and we cross over at various fundraisers and things and big bills. And I'm always the kind of funny guy that also plays a bit of piano and sings jazz. What the hell's that? How did that happen on the comedy circuit? So it's called alternative cabaret. That's what you were asking me.
Yeah. So did you ever have a moment where you just kind of told a joke and it was...
Yes. I had we played this rather stiff club in Windsor, and I remember the bill. It was Joe Brand, Hattie Hayridge, me, and Mark Thomas, who's one of my heroes. And I was halfway through telling some terrible kind of story, and somebody threw a sandwich at me, and it landed on my face, but it didn't slide off. It just landed there.
Oh, no.
And Joe Brand was in the wings, and she just couldn't stop laughing. It was just stuck there. There's this kind of, I don't know, meat paste sandwich stuck to my face. And I thought, well, I'll just leave it there and just use it, bring it into the act, No, it's
what to do, really? What do you do with a half a sandwich on your face?
You just eat it, push it into your mouth. Yeah.
Well, at least you got them laughing, though.
Well, I'm not sure they laughed. I just think they probably thought, oh, he bless him, he hasn't even noticed there's a sandwich stuck to his cheek.
Okay, so that's the comedy side of things, and we can see obviously that you're incredibly funny.
I'm hilarious.
Okay. So I've got a question about your experience with audiences. You've travelled, you've obviously played a lot in the UK and Europe. You've travelled to America and toured extensively there, and I'm sure to many other locations across the globe. How do you find audiences maybe differ, or are they similar, or are there certain cultural aspects that you would kind of note in different locations or places? Yeah,
touring China was interesting because it's the level of respect that the Chinese audiences, especially the younger ones, have for anything that they go and see, whether it be theatre, especially visiting guests coming to, playing in Beijing. I played at the Blue Note in Beijing, which is, it's a very corporate, very high-end chain of jazz clubs. It's not like the one in New York, which is very kind of real and spit and sawdust. No, it's not, but it's... And it was extraordinary because I did a show with Kurt Elling, who's a great jazz singer, recently called The Big Blind, and we did it in New York, and we also did it... we were about to tour it in America last year, and of course... guess what? So like many people, that was put on hold. But he was saying, he said, when you go to these places, do you sometimes think that if you can just make extreme sounds with your voice and then open a suitcase and have pigeons fly out, would it be the same thing? And the more we drank, the more whiskey we drank, because we're whiskey drinking buddies, Kurt and I, we decided that was unfair because of the language barrier, because it's to do with how you emotionally connect with an audience. And you know, I sing words and I'm hungry for words and lyrics and stories, but so are instrumentalists as well. They just don't happen to be singing them. So we decided that playing those places was really important, because there's a huge tradition in China and Japan and in Vietnam, Cambodia. They have a very similar tradition of appreciating jazz as well. It just has a different angle to it, a different side to it. So it's not like opening the suitcase and having the birds fly out. It's much more than that. It's about hitting them with a whisper or a note or a shriek or a word that they recognize because they speak good English. Or it's telling your story and being true to yourself with an audience that you're lucky. How lucky are we to be able to do that? You know, I especially, to be able to tour in somewhere like China, and I have very, very big opinions on China, like we all do, but on certain parts of human rights issues and things. But I've played in Belarus, you know, and I was warned not to say anything subversive. And I played in front of 20,000 people in a square. There were armed guards everywhere, and they had to veto my set list and things. And I thought, I'm just going to go out there and just be myself. And I was covered in Refugees Welcome and human rights badges, more badges than a 1970s Harley Davidson cyclist would have ever on any piece of his clothing or her clothing. I just thought, sod it, I'm just going to do this. What's the worst that can happen to me here? You know, I get shot from a balcony in the square.
It is quite a strange experience, though, isn't it? It's quite a unique experience to be in a place where you don't know...
A dictatorship,
yeah,
yes.
Well, in any of those places where you don't necessarily know how... Not just how it's going to go down with the public, but, you know, what kind... Because there are places that have those very, very strict and very different to kind of art, you know...
In the arts that they bring in.
And that sort of vigilance and surveillance over what comes out of artists' mouths, you know, and what they are kind of representing. So it's quite... I think obviously as an artist, it's your art form, but then you are a whole person, and that is part of what you're creating. So I would imagine it's that slightly uncomfortable moment but also having the courage to just do it anyway, because that's what you believe in. Yeah,
I think you have to sort of just look around the room and see what's in the room, and try not to offend anyone with something that you've dug up out of a knee-jerk emotional reaction because you're used to another way of thinking or another way of organising your life, you know. And that was very much the case in Belarus. And I worked with an amazing team out there. I've been there a couple of times, and big in Belarus. But historically, recently, in the last 15 years, even it's a troubled place.
Yes.
You know,
in the last 2 years. Yeah. Last year.
And you can sense, especially in the younger generation, you can sense this kind of urge to remain true to their family and their traditions, but also to embrace a fairer way of living, and that includes the arts. Mark Thomas, I keep talking about Mark Thomas. I hope he's listening to this. But I've worked with him many times, and he works very closely with the Theatre of Belarus, you know, just to present...
The Free Theatre.
The Free Theatre of Belarus, so he would understand what we're talking about, really.
Yeah, and just to follow on from that, because we're talking about it, you do work quite a lot with refugee charities, don't you? That's a passion of yours, or something that you feel that you need to do as part of your... In 1999, 2000, I was part of a team of people that put on gigs to raise money for the refugees that found themselves in Sangatte in the north of France. In those days, there was hideous stories of people, you know, trying to get under the channel and bodies found on the tracks and things, and nothing's changed. It's just it just slid up the coast a bit, you know, a mile and a half to an area which was a chemical rubbish dump. And I just thought
I could see it from my house. I could see the Calais lighthouse from my place I live in Kent. I have a place there, and I just thought, this is ridiculous. And that the iconic image of Elan Kurdi, the little baby with his nose down in the sand, like thousands, millions of people, affected me. And I just thought, I've just got to go and have a look. And and if that seems voyeuristic, then that's what it is. And I met the most extraordinary people in the most incredible circumstances. And I met volunteers from all over the world that had recognized that the simplest things can be achieved. Just providing someone with some phone credit, some shoes, some dry underwear, sanitary protection for the women. And we stayed, and I met some amazing women, actually, who formed a charity based in Essex called Side by Side with Refugees, and I'm a trustee of that charity. I'm also a patron of two other amazing initiatives. One is called COTW, the Citizens of the World Choir. So immediately we've got music connections there, and it's made up of refugees, asylum seekers, and volunteers, and it's very active. And through the House of Lords, through an extraordinary peer called Lord Roberts of Llandudno.
Okay.
Yeah. So it all came together really well. And the other one is Refugee EU Support, and they made me a patron last year, and we do fundraising gigs and stuff. I mean, it's not going to go away. There'll be over 100 million refugees, displaced people by Christmas.
But also, I think, I suppose as an artist as well, it's important to remember that, a refugee or asylum seeker or someone that's been displaced, among those people are people who are educated in all walks of life, but many, many artists themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And did you meet any artists along the way?
I did. Of course I did. I met, at one point there were just under 10,000 people living on this unofficial refugee camp in Calais that we were working at, and I met... all you have to think about is if these were your friends and your family and your loved ones, how would you feel about it? And then you check out the stories, and they're just everyone on this planet, as far as we know, deserves an opportunity to be the best that they possibly can, and that includes, especially for the younger generation, it includes trying to make money for your family as well, which is a tradition in Syria, it's a tradition in Iraq, it's a tradition in Eritrea, Ethiopia, Chad, Afghanistan. It's to look after your elders. We're not very good at that in this country. We tend to, it's a very Mediterranean thing as well, is to respect your family. And a lot of these young men, mostly, there were in the sub-Saharan places, there were women also who were conscripted against their desires, and not good, not acceptable, So
talking about role models then, name me, I'll give you maybe 2 or 3.
Orinoco Womble.
Your heroes, come on, spill the beans. And they don't have to be jazz musicians either.
Okay. My heroes, Maya Angelou, Miles Davis, Mark Murphy, David Bowie, oh dear, let me think. Diane Abbott, definitely. Tony Benn.
Tony Benn,
yeah, definitely. Len McCluskey sometimes, if he behaves himself. Charles Dickens, Joni Mitchell, Debussy, Beethoven.
So that's
is that enough?
A few more than 3, but I'll let you off. That's great. I just want to ask one other thing, because I'm a bit of a Beatles fan, and you worked at Abbey Road Studios. What was it like when you walked in for the first time? Was it kind of like that kind of, the rest of the sort of normal world just kind of would go, oh, that must be quite a historic moment, or something that might, I don't know, what did it feel like? What did it look like? Was it as you'd imagined it to be? Had you imagined it to be anything or nothing?
Well, I'd been there many times before as a session singer, so I'd worked on other people's projects, but to go in there and have the opportunity to record my own album in Abbey Road 2, which is where we were, and to play on the, Lady Madonna piano was incredible. And also I'm a huge Kate Bush fan, so just to know that she'd been in there, And we made the album in less than 2 days because, well, it was very expensive. And also we wanted to capture a live thing there. You're talking about the Abbey Road sessions. Let me tell you something very funny about that album.
Yeah.
10 minutes after I called my album The Abbey Road Sessions, Kylie Minogue did exactly the same thing.
Oh, ouch.
And I love Kylie.
Did you like her in that moment, though?
No, I just pick your own. I mean, it's not exactly the most inspiring title for an album, isn't it?
No, I know. But did you, I mean, well, if not that moment, but then was there a moment where you just thought, okay, because a lot of artists spend a lot of time like working hard, not earning a great deal, gig to gig, hotel to hotel. Was there a moment where you thought, actually, I can relax a little bit now? I've sort of, not I've arrived, but, you know, the moment where you think, wow, I've come from where I've come from. I've done all these things, and now or are you still on that journey? And where do you think it might take you?
Well,
next?
God, I'm the wrong end of 50, so I mean, no, I think I always wake up and feel quite lucky that, you know, that my dad wanted. I think my dad was such a brilliant musician, you know, but because of the situation that he found himself in, you know, he was looking after his family. That was the first thing. But he was such an extraordinary musician. And the older I get, the more I can hear his tone when he plays and little things he said to me and the relationships with his friends. So I always feel very lucky that I was able to get further than my dad did in the music world. But no, I think most musicians, apart from Gary Barlow, maybe.
Oh yeah.
But I think you know, if you've got half a brain and half a soul and half a heart, then you know, it's an incredible privilege to be able to do what you do. I do regard it as work. It is my career and my living, and you know, and I love being presented with very challenging things. I just did an incredible thing with Mark Anthony Turnage, the composer, and I never thought I'd do things like that and perform with half the Halle orchestra. They're called Safa, and that was an extraordinary thing to do. And I've worked with Quincy Jones and Matthew Austin, and I've sung with Dee Dee Bridgewater and all my heroes, and so I'm lucky. I'm just lucky, but I'm not going to do the old, you know, the little boy from North Wales thing, because I think everyone. I mean, I really have worked very hard at it as well. It's not like it just happened like Beaches, you know.
Of course. Yeah.
And I never take it for granted. So.
And so, have you got anything exciting that's coming up that you can share?
Or tonight? No,
either tonight or in the near future. Any projects that you want to talk about?
Oh, have I? I can't remember. Well, I'm playing at Ronnie Scott's on the 4th and 5th of June. Oh, it's sold out. So that's, I am doing that. I'm playing a wonderful place called Crazy Cocks in London, but it's all on my website. And then we're picking up a tour. I work with two of my favourite musicians, an incredible piano player called Jamie Saphir, who plays with Will Young and Emma Smith. He's a wonderful young pianist, and one of my heroes, Ian Bellamy, who was in Loose Tubes. And we made a record a year and a half ago, and we were going to tour it last year, and that kind of hit the wall. So we're going to be touring that, picking up the dates and trying to see whether the venues are still, you know, intact.
Well, hopefully, when everything properly ramps up and you're back out there on the streets more regularly, we all look forward to seeing you here, there and everywhere, I'm sure. Exactly.
You're a Beatles fan, aren't you?
I am. Well, my older sister was a massive Beatles fan, so I basically spent many a day sitting in her bedroom looking at all these posters, and that's all we listened to. So, you know, my older sibling, it's her fault entirely.
I've never worked with a Beatle. Well, I mean, they're dead. Oh, no, not all dead, aren't they? But I've worked with a Who.
A Who?
Yeah, I worked with Pete
Roger?
Townsend,
Oh, okay.
which was exciting. A thing called London on Film, and he said, "Do you want to come and revoice Quadrophenia, because we're doing a tour with Alfie Bell?" And I thought, "Yeah, I do." So I got to do the. You know,
that's amazing, kind of really iconic. Yeah.
No, not Quadrophenia. The other one. No, yes.
It was Quadrophenia. Yeah.
And they reimagined it. Pete's partner Rachel made it for an orchestra thing, and Alfie Bow did it. But I did all the demos for them, which was really thrilling, but really cold, because it was we recorded it on a boat in the River Thames, and there was no heating. if you're watching, Pete.
Chilblains. Well, listen, it's been wonderful to talk to you. A delight to meet you in person.
You too.
And I think everyone probably is ready for some music now. So, Ian, I'm going to disappear that way and look forward to listening to you play. So, everybody, Ian Shaw.
Thank you, Suri. Thank you.
Thank you.
People who need people, are the luckiest people in the world. With children needing other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children. Others are very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you are half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people, people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. No one to talk with all by myself. No one to walk with, I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, saving my loving for you. I'm through with flirting with the stars up above. I know for certain it's you that I'm dreaming of. Ain't misbehaving, saving my loving for you. Like Jack Horner, he in the corner, he don't go nowhere, what do I care? Your loving is all I'm waiting for. Baby, believe me, don't go out late, don't get a go. I'm home about it, me and my transistor radio. Hey, misbehaving, saving my loving for you. But do that, do that. Like Jack Horner in the corner, he don't go nowhere, what do I care? Your kisses, they're all I'm worth waiting for. Baby, believe me, don't go out late, don't care to go. I'm home about it, me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, saving all my love for you. Ain't misbehaving, ain't misbehaving. misbehaving. Ain't misbehaving. I'm saving my loving for you. Well, you see. So I found out on the train that we put this show together called A Century of Songs. So I've tried to take 2 songs from each decade, from 1920 onwards, which is a bit foolish, really. So there was one of them, and there's another one coming up later. I think one of my greatest thrills was working with Jimmy Webb, and I got to sing this song with him playing the piano. I love this song. I think it's probably one of the greatest songs ever written. I am a lineman for the county, and I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another overload. I hear you singing in the wire, I can hear you through the wine, and the Wichita lineman, he's still on the line. I know I need a small vacation, but it don't look like rain. And if it snows, that stretch down south won't ever stand the strain. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman, he's still on the line. I am a lineman for the county, and I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another overload. I hear you singing in the wire, I can hear you through the wine, and the Wichita lineman, small vacation, but it don't look like rain. And if it snows, that stretch down south won't ever stand the strain. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman, he's still, he's still on the line. He's still on the line. Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright, but I only have eyes for you, dear. The moon may be high, I can't see a thing in the sky, but I only have eyes for you. I don't know if we're in a garden or on a crowded avenue. Baby, you are here, so am I. Baby, millions of people go by, but they all disappear from view. And I only have eyes for you. Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright. Only have eyes for you, oh my dear. The moon may be high, I can't see a thing in the sky. I only have eyes for you. I don't know if we're in a garden, no, or on a crowded avenue. You are here, so am I. Baby, millions of people go by, but they all disappear from view. And I only have eyes. I only have eyes. Only have eyes for you. Well, I only have eyes. Only have eyes for you. We were talking about David Bowie earlier on, and I found this beautiful song which he wrote in that funny period of his career when he was living in Berlin, and it's a kind of a history of well, it can't be dressed up really. It's a history of fascism and homophobia, really. The silent, he sings of the silent age, which, incapable of reflection. So 40 years apart, this incredible song, which I'm not sure that anyone's ever re-recorded it. It's probably a mistake that I'm doing it here in Nottingham. Or maybe not, but I love it anyway. It's called The Sons of the Silent Age. Sons of the silent age stand on platforms, blank looks and notebooks, sit back in rows of city limits, lay in their beds, coming and going on easy terms. Sons of the silent age, they pace their rooms like a cell's dimensions, rise for a year or two and make war, search through their one-inch thoughts, then decide it couldn't be done. Baby, I won't ever let you go. All I see is all I know. Let's take another way down. Baby, I won't ever let you down. I can't stand another sound. Let's find another way. Sons of the silent age, listen to tracks by Sam Therapy and King Dice. Sons of the silent age, pick up in bars and cry only once. Sons of the silent age, make love once, but dream and dream and dream and dream. They don't work, they just glide in and out of life. They never die, they just go to sleep one day. Baby, I won't ever let you go. All I see is all I know. Let's take another way down. Baby, baby, I won't ever let you down. I can't stand another sound. Let's find another way. The sons of the silent age, they stand on platforms, blank looks and notebooks. They sit back in rows of city limits. They lay in bed, coming and going on easy terms. Sons of the silent age pace their room like a cell's dimensions. They rise for a year or two and make war. They search through their one-inch thoughts and decide it couldn't be done. Baby, I will never let you go. All I see is all I know. Let's take another way down. Baby, baby, I won't ever let you down. I can't stand another sound. Let's find another way in. Another way in. Wake up, you sleepy head. Put on some clothes, get out of bed. Put another log on the fire for me. I made some breakfast and coffee. Look out my window, what do I see? A crack in the sky and a hand reaching down to me. All the nightmares came today, but it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, you pretty things, don't you know you're driving your mamas and papas insane? Oh, you pretty things, don't you know you're driving your mamas and papas insane? Let me make it plain, we better make way for the Homo superior. What are we coming to? No room for me, no fun for you. I think about a world to come where the books were found by the golden ones. We're written in pain, we're written in awe by a puzzle man who questioned what we were here for. All the strangers came today, and it looks as though they're here to stay. Pretty things, don't you know you're driving your mamas and papas insane? Oh, you pretty things, don't you know you're driving your mamas and papas insane? Let me make it plain, we better make a way for the Homo superior. Look at your children, see their faces in golden rays. Don't kid yourself, they belong to you. They're the start of the coming race. The earth is a bitch, we finished our news. Homo sapiens have outgrown their use. All the strangers came today, but it looks as though they're here to stay. Pretty things, don't you know you're driving your mamas and papas insane? Oh, you pretty things, don't you know you're driving your mamas and papas insane? Let me make it plain, we gotta make a way for the Homo superior. 100 years of songs, we have to do Bowie, right? This was written by Ira Gershwin and Kurt Weill. My ship has sails that are made of silk. The decks are trimmed with gold, and of jam and spice there's a paradise in the hold. My ship's aglow with a million pearls, and rubies fill each bin. The sun sits high in a sapphire sky when my ship comes in. I can wait the years till it appears. One fine day, one spring, but the pearls and such, they won't mean as much if there's missing just one thing. I do not care if that day arrives. That dream may never be. If the ship I sing doesn't also bring my own true love to me. If the ship I sing doesn't also bring my own true love to me. You're thinking. Tall and tan, no, 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 no. Tall and slender like an Apollo, he goes walking by, and I have to follow him. I should explain this one, really. I used to play in a piano bar in Amsterdam called Piano Bar Maxime, and there was this beautiful woman that sat there, you know, a woman of a certain age, as we used to say years ago. A certain age. Could be anything, couldn't it? She could be 18 or 80 or 92. But she was so strong and so beautiful, and she was surrounded by all these gorgeous young men, all young. And they came and they went, and I wondered what she was really thinking. And here's two songs that sum up that kind of thing about protecting people, and they were both written by the great Stephen Sondheim. tall and slender like an Apollo. He goes walking by, and I have to follow him. The boy from Tacarembo, la tombe del Fuego, Santa Male, Taquetas, la Junta del Tole Cruz. Ay, 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 ay. And when we meet, I feel I'm on fire and I'm breathless every time I inquire how are things in Tacarembo, la tombe del Fuego, Santa Male, Taquetas, la Junta del Soli Cruz. Why, when I speak, does he vanish? Why is he acting so clannish? I wish I understood Spanish. When I tell him I think he's the end, he giggles a lot with his friend. Tall and slender, moves like a dancer, but I never seem to get any answer from the boy from Tacarembo, la tombe del Fuego, Santa Male, Taquetas, la Junta del Soli Cruz. I get the blues. I get the blues. Why are his trousers vermilion? His trousers are vermilion. Why does he claim he's Castilian? He says that he's Castilian. Why do his friends call him Lillian? And I hear at the end of the week he's leaving to start a boutique. Oh yeah. And though I smile, I'm only pretending, 'cause I know today is the last day I'll be spending with the boy from Tacarembo, la tombe del Fuego, Santa Male, Taquetas, la Junta del Soli Cruz. Tomorrow he sails. He's moving to Wales. To live in Llanfair, Pwllgwyngyll, Gogerwch, Hwndrobwll, Llantlantys, Silio. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Ha, ha, ha. Years and years ago, I auditioned to be in Sweeney Todd. Didn't get it. Got very close. It was at the Watford Palais. This song is from Sweeney Todd. Nothing's gonna harm you. Not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir. Not while I'm around. Demons are prowling everywhere nowadays. I'll send them howling. I don't care. I got ways. no one's gonna hurt you. No one's gonna dare. Others can desert you, not to worry. Whistle, I'll be there. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you. Not while I'm around. Nothing is gonna hurt you. No one's gonna dare. Others can desert you, not to worry. Whistle, I'll be there. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you. Not while I'm around. Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. If you gotta have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? Talk about a moon floating in the sky, looking like a lily on a lake. Talk about a bird learning how to fly, making all the music she can make. Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. You gotta have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna make a dream come true? But what a big late double for back and jack to back. You don't. Talk about a star looking like a toy, peeking through the branches of a tree. Talk about a girl, talk about a girl, counting all the ripples on the sea. Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about how things you'd like to do. You don't have a dream if you don't have a dream. How you gonna make a dream? How you gonna gonna make a dream? How you gonna make a dream? How you gonna make a dream? How you gonna make a dream come true? Dee-dong. Oh, I love this song. 1953, Star is Born. Not the original one, but the one with Judy Garland. James Mason, who presented the top 20 in the 1970s. Coming in at number 42 now, it's the Wombles with We Wish You a Wombling Merry Christmas. It wasn't, it was Tom Brown. This has been described as the greatest ever song written in American history of songwriting. I'm not sure that that's the case, but it is pretty good. Arlen and Gershwin. The night is bitter, the stars have lost their glitter, the winds grow colder, suddenly you're older, all because of the man that got away. No more his eager call, the writing is on the wall, the dreams you dreamed have all gone away. The man that won you has gone off and undone ya. That great beginning has seen a final inning. I don't know what happened, it's all a crazy game. No more that all-time thrill, for you've been through the mill, and never a new love will be the same. Good riddance, goodbye. Every trick of his you're on to, but fools will be fools. But where's he gone to? The road gets rougher, it's lonelier and tougher. With hope you burn up, tomorrow he may turn up. There's just no let up, the live long night and day. Ever since this war began, there is nothing sadder than a one-man woman, or a one-woman woman, or a one-man man, looking for the one that got away. The man that got away. The beauty of live television. It's got another gin and tonic. Thank you very much. Cheers, everybody at home. Please support this wonderful, wonderful club. It's called Peggy Skylights, and it's in Nottingham, and it's run by this astonishing team. It's a great sound system. It looks lovely. There's the skylight. There's another one there. I've enjoyed talking to Saru so much, and I haven't finished yet. I've got a few more to pack in. So this one's for you, Saru. Sorry. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Father Mackenzie writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near, looking, working, donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Oh, look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with her name. Nobody came. Father Mackenzie wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved. All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Oh, look at all the lonely people. Oh, look at all the lonely, 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 lonely people. Lonely, 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 lonely people. She packed my bags last night, pre-flight. 0 hour 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at all. No, 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 no. I'm a rocky man. Rocky man burning up his fuse up here alone. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell, and there's no one there to raise them. Terrible rhyming here. If you did. I love you, Bernie Taupin, and I love you, Elton John, but sort that one out. And all this science I don't understand. It's just my job, 5 days a week, a rocket man, a rocket man. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man I think I am at all. No, 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 no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man burning up his fuse. Fuse. I'm up there, I might as well. No, 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 no. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me around again to find I'm not the man they think I am at all. No, 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 no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man burning up his fuse up here alone. This one's dedicated to this wonderful choir, the Citizens of the World Choir. I love them so much. And I know they're all tuning in tonight. I think so anyway, they better be. And they got an EP out soon, so look out for that one. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to invite the boss, well, one of the bosses here, to sing a song, because she's a brilliant singer. So really, really give it up. Rachel Foster!
My heart is bursting from your beautiful music. So I'm dressed like this because we've been running a takeaway service. What are we going to do, Mr. Shaw?
I think you'll be fine here.
You don't know?
Oh, yeah, shall we? Shall we?
I don't know. That felt like that's where you were going. You don't know what love is until you've learned the meaning of the blues, until you've loved and had to lose. You don't know what love is. You don't know how lips hurt until you kissed and had to bathe the coast, until you flipped your heart and you have lost. You don't know, how could you know what love is? Do you know how a lost heart feels the thought of reminiscing, and how hearts that taste of tears, they lose their taste for kissing? No, you don't know how hearts burn for love that has not lived yet, never dies, until you reach the dawn, sleepless eye. You don't know, how could you know what love is? don't know how lips hurt until you've kissed and had to pay the cost, until you've flipped your heart and you have lost. You don't know, how could you know what love is? You don't know what love is.
Mwah.
Thank you so much. What a delight.
Cool.
I'll leave you with this.
Thank you very much.
You might need it.
Whisk me up something.
I will, darling. Off I trot.
Rachel.
I suppose I should finish now, I suppose, quite soon. We got a little bit more? Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to finish with two songs, first one and then the other, which I pinched that line from Victoria Wood, who I miss like so much. Miss her late night emails saying things like, I saw it, that charity do the other night. She said, did you nick anything? I saw you had an eye on that vase. She's such a wonderful, wonderful, fantastic woman. And what a brilliant, brilliant artist and writer and visionary. Anyway, this is a song, this is a contemporary song. It was written by an incredible project called Lau, L-A-U. And it sums up how a lot of us feel at the moment about where we sit in the world, I suppose. It's called Ghosts. We say we're not like them. A generation ago, we came on the same ships, we were hidden below. We come seeking protection away from the strife, away from the struggles and the hardships of life. I'm not an incomer. My parents were ghosts, so I was born here. So where would I go? There's ghosts on the motorway. The world is on fire. There's ghosts on the sand flats, and the water gets higher and higher. There's ghosts in the brothels, behind thick stony walls. There's ghosts and their children in prison food halls. I'm not an incomer. parents were ghosts, so I was born here. So where could I go? I'm not an incomer. My parents were ghosts, so I was born here. So where could I go? We say we're not like them. A generation ago, we came on the same ships. We were hidden below. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Pink hotel room, a booty can, a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. Pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Hey farmer, farmer, don't give me D now. Don't give me spots on my apples, leave me the birds and the bees, please. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Took all the trees and stuck them in a tree museum. Charged all the people too much dollar just to see him. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Late last night I heard the screen door slam. Big yellow taxi came and took away my old man. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Pay paradise and put up a parking lot. Ridiculous job. Hey, farm, don't give me DDT now. Give me spots on my apples, leave me the birds and the bees. Please don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Late last night I heard the screen door slam. Big yellow taxi came and took away my old man. Said follow the van. Ooh, don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. How did Joni go on the record? They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Down, down, down. Thank you so much. Please support live music. Thank you so much. I've had such a wonderful time here at Peggy's Skylight in Nottingham. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Here's to your beautiful return. Thank you so much.